said, oh, we're going to deal with the original King James. When you say you got the King James, the original King James contained 80 books. That's a topic right there. That's a topic right there.
Shalom. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Kiam. And this is your brother Abawan, back again with another video through the spirits and power of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Kwadash. All praises and glory is due, especially in the times we are in. That's a topic right there. So basically, the title of this video is going to be there are 80 books in the Bible. Once again, giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. There are 80 books in the Bible, right? So we have the Old Testament, we have the Apocrypha, and then we have the New Testament. And the Old Testament and the New Testament combined has 66 books. Meanwhile, the Apocrypha has 14 extra books, which makes it in total 80 books, right? So the reason why the Apostle Tahar, and the reason why you see the Apostle Tahar, saying this and mentioning this, and also the voice they are about to hear is the elder Manasseh Zagba, and he was also going into the same thing as well, how there are 80 books in the Bible.
Praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS, Shalom to the hopefully elect. This quick video.
So that was the voice of the elder Manasseh Zagba, and he's also going into the same thing, how there are 80 books in the Bible, and the Apostle Tahar did a very good video, a very great video on this right here, right? So he basically went into the chat and asked the chat all the various reasons why the Apocrypha, which is the 14 books of the Bible that was removed in order to change the actual Bible from 80 books to 66 books, was removed from the scriptures. And of course, Esau gives all the excuses in the world. Oh, there was use of magic in it. I think, the other Manasseh Zagba also goes into this as well. There was use of magic in it, it's not canonical to the Old and the New Testament, and so on and so forth, right? So the question now being is, and let me just quickly cue that up, right? On what authority, and really the question is, on what authority did you decide that what book is canon and what book isn't? And of course the apostles, the apostle Tahar, and even the elder Manasseh Zagba also went into this. I'm going to go into this precept as well. All right, let's get some precepts. Let's go to the bullet and get a quick precept, right? Because, like I said, the Apostle Tahar and the elder Manasseh Zagba already went into this. I'm still going to bring it out anyway because it is a relevant part of the scriptures to remember and to understand. So this is the book of Deuteronomy 4, verse 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your power, which I command you. Right, so basically, do not remove or add onto the scriptures. And let's get another precept. Basically going into the same thing, because that's exactly what Esau Edom. That's exactly what Esau Edom did by taking out the Apocrypha. They are diminishing and they are removing from the words of the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And that's why I asked the question initially: on whose authority? Okay, on whose authority do they decide what parts of the scriptures can and can and can't be added into this? Be part of the scriptures. What part of the scriptures can and can they not remove? Okay, because we know that the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is not dealing with Wakitaki plantation Christianity, and we know especially that Esau Edom is the wicked, which the Bible speaks of. So the Most High is not dealing with them. So it's very obvious that they have done these things based on their own authority, and that they believe that removing the Apocrypha out of the official Bible, right? Because you look at the modern Bibles that are out there, even the KJV, because if you go back to the 1611, you will see that the Apocrypha is already a part of the original 1611 Bible. But the modern Bibles that are in circulation do not have the Apocrypha for the most part. Okay, you certainly do have some Bibles that have it, but the vast majority of Bibles currently in circulation have no Apocrypha. So what you have is the Old Testament, and then moving on to the New Testament, because Esau Edom removed the Apocrypha from the scriptures under the disguise of various other things, but that under the disguise of various reasons as to why the Apocrypha can't be considered a part of the scriptures. But as the scriptures say, we have an unction from the Holy One, and we know all things. And as people that know all things, right? Once again, the announcement is that there are 80 books that are in the scriptures, and that includes the Apocrypha, because the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures. So let's get the precept real quick. Right? Because what the Christians will tell you is that the Apocrypha is not spiritual, it's not inspired by the word, right? But this is the book of 2 Timothy 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, may be perfect, thoroughly furnished unto all good works. Right, so that's what is stated in the scriptures. Like I was saying, that's what's stated in the scriptures, right? And basically what this is going into, so like that's like train of thought here, right? So all parts of the scriptures are inspired by the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, including the Apocrypha, because I don't really want to start going into the details and showing and proving how the Apocrypha is actually inspired by the Most High, because the elder Manasseh Zagba and the Apostle Tahar also did the same thing excellently, more than I possibly could, right? But I'll still go into some few things, okay? Because what we have in the Apocrypha is, right, you have different books that are going through the history and the prophecies that are of our people, right? So the prophecies that you see in the Old and New Testament, you also have them being spoken about again, being fulfilled within the Apocrypha, right? And then when it comes to the history of our people, especially during the Greek and moving also into the Roman captivity, but mainly during the Greek captivity, you also have that. You have the continuation of books like Additions to Esther, that continues the book of Esther, the book of Esdras that basically continues the book of Ezra, right? So you have all these different books that so okay, once again, continue the story of our people, right? From where it's, from the last book of the Old Testament, which is basically going into the captivity of our people, especially in the Persian Empire, right? After we returned from that captivity, and continuing into the Greek captivity or the Greco-Roman captivity, right? And that's, as we suspect in this truth, the main reason why Esau Edom took the Apocrypha out of the Bible, and that's because it exposed fully and wholly Esau Edom as the devil, which the Bible speaks of, right? Because it connects Rome to Edom, it connects Greece to Edom through Haman the Agagite, right? And through Alexander the Greek. And basically, because of the amount of information that fully exposes Esau Edom as the devil, which the Bible speaks of, right? That's the reason why these devils actually took it out of the Bible, not because of magic or because they don't believe that it is quote unquote canonical. Esau Edom does not have the authority to canonize or decanonize or uncanonize any verse in the scriptures, because once again, the spirit of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, is not dealing with them. Alright, so I want to go into the chat, please. I want to go into the chats real quick. Now I want to ask the chat what is the reason why I want to ask the chat this first. What is the oldest complete version of the Holy Bible, which is basically Sapar Kodash, right? The Holy Book. Okay, because the word Bible goes back to the I believe in the Latin or the Roman word for book. Okay, the Holy Bible. So basically, what the Bible means is the Holy Book. Okay, it is the Holy Book, the foremost Holy Book. Okay, so now let's read what the chat has to say. And just what this Nigerian network, it is always what's what I'm looking for, right? It's always going to disappoint you. So I can also do anything for this network. Let me try that again. Because that's probably what is wrong with it. Here it is. The oldest surviving complete version of the Holy Bible is the Codex Sinaiticus, dated about 330 to 360 AD, written in Greek, containing the entire New Testament, most of the Old Testament from the Greek Septuagint, and while it's considered the oldest complete Bible, it is the earliest manuscript that preserves the full New Testament in one volume. No earlier manuscript contains the whole Bible together, right? So important clarification. There is no single ancient manuscript that contains every Old Testament book exactly as later canons define them. That's why scholars say oldest complete Bible rather than perfectly complete. So I asked the chat for the oldest complete Bible, but it still doesn't give me the actual oldest complete Bible. So let me try this instead. Let me ask this question first. Does the Codex Sinaiticus contain the Yes, the Codex Sinaiticus does contain books commonly called the Apocrypha, but with important nuance. Old Testament Greek Septuagint. Along the books found in the Hebrew Bible, the Codex Sinaiticus includes several deuterocanonical apocryphal books such as Tobit, Judith, First Maccabees, the Wisdom of Solomon, and Sirach. Some sections of the Old Testament are missing due to later damage, but these books are clearly attested. What's especially notable, after the New Testament, the Codex Sinaiticus also includes two early Christian writings, which are the Epistle of Barnabas and the Shepherd of Hermas. These are not part of the modern biblical canon in Catholic, Orthodox, or Protestant traditions, but their inclusion shows that the canon was still fluid in the 4th century. Right, so now I said that, this book right here from the 4th century, right, the Codex Sinaiticus also had other books that were written right alongside it, the Epistle of Barnabas, as it says, right, and the Shepherd of Hermas, right. So basically, even to the oldest texts of the scriptures that have been found also contains the Apocrypha, right. So what I want to do now is I want to ask the chat, right, what is the oldest English translated version of the scriptures? And I believe you should give me the Geneva Bible, right, which of course still once again contains the Apocrypha. So the idea of removing the Apocrypha from the scriptures is a newer, more recent occurrence. I've already gone through the reason why. The reason why is because the Apocrypha exposes Esau Edom as the devil which the Bible speaks of, and makes it more clear it makes it even more clearer who the devil which the Bible speaks of actually is, and the role and history of the so-called white man on the earth. The oldest complete translation of the Bible into English is the Wycliffe Bible, dated circa 1382 to 1395. Translator John Wycliffe and his followers, the Lollards. Language Middle English. Source text the Latin Vulgate, not Hebrew or Greek. From hand-copied manuscripts, as printing had not yet reached England. This is the first complete Bible in English. So, yeah, important clarification. Before Wycliffe, there were earlier English portions, but not a full Bible, and it goes into the different portions of the Bible that had actually been translated into English. So the first actual confirmed translated version of the Bible is the so-called Wycliffe Bible, right? So what I want to do is I want to go into the Chrome, right, just to confirm that what ChatGPT is actually saying actually makes sense. So the Wycliffe Bible, let's see, the Wycliffe Bible. So you have to open up. So we'll just open up the Wikipedia. Okay. Let it load. Okay. Let's go. Right, and the reason why we're going through this is just to show you the folly of plantation Christianity. Because the bulk of these Christians, they don't even know the reason why they don't use the Apocrypha, right? But they believe that, they believe that, it's just the Old Testament and the New Testament that is required. But in order to understand the full mystery, right, you have to know the history, right? You have to have all the knowledge that comes with the whole volume of the book, right? And that just shows you the reason why the Spirit is not dealing with plantation Christianity, and that's because they don't even have the whole volume of the book. So now, the Wycliffe Bible, also known as the Middle English Bible, Wycliffite Bible or Wycliffean Bible, is the sequence of Orthodox Middle English Bible translations from the Latin Vulgate, which appeared over a period from approximately 1382 to 1395, right? So it's not even a complete translation, but it's a sequence of translation. Let's keep going into it. Two different but evolving translation branches have been identified, mostly word-for-word translations classified as early as EV, and the more sense-by-sense recensions classified as later version. The earliest known literal translations of the entire Bible into English, which is of course Middle English. However, several other translations, probably earlier, of most New Testament books and Psalms into Middle English are extant. The authorship, orthodoxy, usage, and ownership has been controversial in past centuries, with historians now downplaying the certainty of past beliefs that the translations were made by controversial English theologian John Wycliffe of the University of Oxford, either personally or with a team including John Purvey and Nicholas Herford, to promote Wycliffeite ideas, and were created for use by Lollards for public reading at their clandestine meetings, or contained heterodox translations antagonistic to Catholicism. Right, so that's just basically giving you the lore of the whole Wycliffe Bible, and the reason why we don't even use the Wycliffe Bible is because the Spirit, Gogo was on King James when he translated the scriptures, and he translated the Bible, translated the Apocrypha, and the 1611 is the complete book that we have been given in order to get the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High, Yahweh Shai. Now, of course, as we already know, right, the Bible is not complete, right? The scriptures are incomplete, right? You also have other books that we don't have access to, mainly because they've been hidden in the historical record, right? But the question is, but the question is not, or rather, the thing is not, what it has been hidden, what isn't there, what doesn't exist. Because that's what Jake will get into. Jake will be stuck in the weeds. Oh, what about the any contradiction in the scripture, which of course there are not. What parts of the Bible are hidden, right? The hidden mystery or the hidden truth the Bible doesn't want you to know, right? That's what our people are mainly concerned with, looking for a conspiracy, right? They knew a something that basically nobody knows about, some hidden secrets, right? But they cannot even accept what already exists. They are looking for these lost books, right? But you cannot accept what already exists. You cannot go into the scriptures that you already have, but you are looking for scriptures that are not part of what are not part of the actual Bible or understanding that we currently have. So this is the book of Ecclesiasticus. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 2, verse 12. And further, by these my son be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Right. So this is for you jakes that are out here looking for lost books and looking for extra books to go into. You want to go into the what is it I'm looking for? The Apocalypse of St. Thomas, I believe, the book of Enoch, right? The book of Jubilees, and all these other quote unquote lost books that exist in the scriptures, right? But the actual found books that have been translated, you have not gone into them, and your understanding in them is not even complete. They ask you to break down 2 Esdras 15 verse 16, Second Esdras 15 and 16. But even that as well, Christians can't break that down. 2 Esdras 12 and 13, Daniel the 11th chapter. If they ask you to break these things down, you will be unable to, right? But you are still looking up and down for new verses that you have never seen before, right? New books that you have never seen before, because that's the thing with our people, right? To sit down and learn, right? To watch. Amen. Jake is not interested in this truth at all. That's as the scriptures say, right? So with that, I'll end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Basham Yahweh Basham Kodash. Wa abad babala unto the Spirit of Yakiam, and you are quite edified. Shalom.